So this is the catch-all miscellaneous segment. Things that you need, maybe some things that you don't, some comfort items, some necessities. One thing that everybody talks about as a thing that they will always carry is a Z-seat. Gives you a place to sit down, add some comfort on a rock or a wet log or something. Got to have that. And these are my Dirty Girl gaiters. And a must-have. Avoid all rocks, pebbles, sticks getting in your shoes. Now these are going to be my camp shoes. They are water shoes. I debated a lot between Crocs and Zero sandals. I even almost went with Zero sandals because I thought I could hike them in the summer even before I watched Evan's videos. But cost effectiveness and weight and everything, I went with these because they have a kind of a durable sole to them. They're well ventilated, and they too can roll up into a small space, or they can be flat like that. Next to them are for any ice or snow that I have, any slick conditions, I can strap those onto my trail runners and be good on the slick surfaces. Next I'll come over here. I got to have your trowel and the necessities of life. I will do a little kit together with this, some toilet paper, and I have another small bottle of hand sanitizer as you see there. Here is just a small pocket knife. I think the blade is like 2 3/4 to 3 inches long. Very lightweight, effective for cutting the small things that I need. Down here I have what I'm going to use for my water treatment system. You see I have some variations here. I have the knock bag and the ever new bag here. You'll see again, experimental, see what works out. I may carry both, use it as a gravitying system. And I also have the Sawyer Squeeze bag here. It came as a kit. I ordered just a basic kit, but somehow when they packed it up, they gave me the gravity drain system. So I have a few extra attachments here that I may or may not take, because just with the coupler here that I bought separately, I think I could do everything that I want. I've seen in videos where people will use this as a scoop. They'll cut it and use it as a scoop. But that's kind of the advantage of the knot bag itself. You can open up the end of it, and it has a wide mouth, so you can do that, which is kind of the disadvantage of either one of these two. You either have to scoop it in or risk the contamination by getting water if it's a shallow pool or something, and it's not running water. So in the end, we'll see what works out best and what system works out with that. I do have Aqua Mirror here as well, which I will use probably the majority of the time, as long as the water's not murky or has got floaties in it. A little bit I don't mind, but to filter it out. And I may be over cautious at some areas and filter and use Aqua Mirror itself. The food bag, the bear bag, the standard Z pack. I did follow early risers' suggestion to add a additional carabiner on there, or more sturdier, to add life to it on that. I did purchase a headlamp, red light capable, good on that. For as far as the cook system, I do have a 750 milliliter pot, titanium pot. Another thing that I will have to check and see, just like the Sawyer Squeeze, I believe I ordered a small fuel canister here, and they sent me the large, which is great as far as that. Unfortunately, it adds weight and it doesn't fit into my cooking pot for ease of storage. I have the BSR here for the stove, and I bought these hot lips to see how they work as far as if I would choose to have hot coffee in the morning. Of course, my source of flame, I take 2 of those, probably not all 3, to work on that. Starting at the top, you see I do have a bandana there, and this is a half buff that I've had. I'm not even sure what the material is, if it's merino wool or not. And then I have a chamois that I've cut up. I've heard people use both of these or all 3 of these as their towel items. So far I like the chamois because of its absorbability. I've used it when my boots were soaked and it helped dry them out. This is a camp towel. It was one of those purchases that I made because I was at, say, like $54, $55, or excuse me, $5 shy of the free shipping. So I think it was actually even less than that. So I purchased that just so I would get something in return and pay less than the shipping itself. So I got a couple items that way. Just to avoid the shipping. In fact, the cord here was the same thing. That's a few dollars shy. So I bought the cord in order to give me some cord to use, because it's always useful on the trail. That's probably a little heavier than I actually need. This is my electronics bag. I do have a power bank there. It's a 20,000 milliamp. The main reason I went with that was a 20,000 milliamp hours. Plus it had the quick charge and dual charge capability to where I could plug in 2 sources and it'd only take about 4.5 hours to charge. Okay, other items that I have in there is headsets, cords for the charging, the charger, which is a quick charge adapter as well. It has 3 total ports that I can use, and I'm going to take a small MP3 player. It also has an FM radio on it and a few other functions that I can use on it. It's very lightweight, so I'll take that as well. This is the famous Leuco tape that I will use for a lot of things. It's very sturdy, durable, and I will use it for any blisters or any hot spots that I have. Also, in the back of this, I have some KT strips. I have 3 of them. They're probably about 18 inches long, and the advantage of these, and you can see in the pattern here, is you can get some stretch on it and compressibility of that. Much better for some sprains, or if you have some edema or inflammation that you can work on as well. I could probably do a video on that, how to apply that, maybe even Leuco tape, and maybe a full healthcare type thing. Have some of the essential pills. I have some Aleve there. That's more Aleve than I'll take in a full year typically, but I may become accustomed to using it on the trail. Neosporin, of course, some ammonia AD in there, and some Band-Aids as well. An extra set of batteries for the headlamp, and assorted batteries. Now, of course, I have a toothbrush kit here with floss. This will be readily handy to me. This is I easily brush my teeth 3 times a day, so this will probably be carried close at hand. And I will stick with a full length. I like to get way back in the back of the teeth. I know a lot of people will cut it, but if that needs to be a luxury item, I will keep a full length toothbrush. This pack is kind of some miscellaneous stuff that may be something I leave behind, because This is Gulpon powder, some Vaseline. Both have tons of uses on it. This is like a Dr. Boner soap that can be used, and this is sunscreen. I do have two other items up here. This is for anti-chafing. You can tell I'm a cyclist because this is what I went with. This is common in the cycling field. And as the weather warms up and the bugs increase, I will need that. Is it something I take right away and carry with me the whole trip? I don't know. Okay, here we have some TheraBand. I'm going to use it to maintain my upper body strength. I don't want to lose any muscle mass in that area. So the best of intentions are during breaks, during lunch, if I'm waiting out a rainstorm to pass, or in the evening to spend a little time doing some upper body work. Or even as I'm hiking, I can loop it around my backpack, hold it in my hands as I'm using my poles, and just as I'm extending it back and forth, will add a little resistance to that action as well. The racquetball, going to use it for rolling out some trigger points, hit those areas in the middle of the back that I can't reach with my hand, or even the bottom of the foot area. It's lightweight, so it'd be convenient. The roller, I'm debating about taking it at all. I use it a lot with patients, but my recovery routine that I use at the end of the hike has prevented any real trigger points thus far, or tightening, and I feel great in the morning. So my concern with that is the weight and whether or not I'm going to use it through the trail. Okay, so I did it. I bought a fanny pack. Even after making jokes about it, I was telling my friend Danny after watching these videos how proud of people are of getting their base weight 10 pounds or less, and then you see their pack, there's 50 things hanging off it with carabiners. They got an additional water holder on their straps, and they're carrying fanny packs as big as their backpack. And so here I am, after even saying that, I have a fanny pack. Why? For the convenience. I've noticed during my training, even though I have small packs or pockets on my waist belt, there are times I would think, well, if I had this here, or this, if it starts raining, where am I going to put my phone? And this way I can keep my electronics dry, I can keep my essentials that I need. If I need bug spray or sunscreen, or even some additional food, I like this one because it had a water pouch there, so I could carry that easily accessible with that. So I will, like many other backpackers, be rocking the fanny pack. This is a backpack that I'm going to be using. It's the first item I'm filming, probably the last item that I will splice into the end of the video, the magic of editing. This was my first purchase back over Labor Day weekend. It signified my commitment to do the Appalachian Trail. I'm saving it for last because it may shock a lot of people that I'm carrying such a big backpack and be in awe at how much it weighs. But for me, I've had over 500 miles of training in it. It's very comfortable. It rides on me well. The suspension moves with me, and it's as if the weight's not there as I'm hiking up and down, even the bridge and everything. Everything is fluid with it. I like the convenience of all the pockets, location for everything. Everything has its place, and everything in its place. Earlier Riser talks about the accountability rock or log. I kind of feel the same thing with the pack itself. If I need to grab something as far as to cook, I know where it's at, or to filter water, I know where it's at. It suddenly looks like rain, I know exactly where to grab my rain jacket or my rain gear. The compartments are big, convenient, and I can find things easily at any given moment. So this is the pack I'm at least going to start the trail with, and because I am going to carry extra weight because of the colder weather. My mentality stems from over 30 years ago when I was hiking back in Colorado as a teenager. So I know gear, equipment, and methodologies have changed a lot. So I'm going to have to evolve with that as my hike goes on, and you may see a lot of gear change out on the trail. I'm not opposed to that. I want what works best. I can be stubborn, and I may, as long as something is good and functional, it's going to be hard for me to part with. But if it makes good sound sense, I will do that.